Let's be honest, cauliflower on its own is not very good. So here is my simple formula on how you can make cauliflower actually taste good. First, we need to chop up the cauliflower into little pieces. Cut off all the brown spots. Next, we'll take our cauliflower and place it in a bowl. Then we'll take some soy sauce and just cover it with some soy sauce. So we add in some flavor, about a tablespoon or two. Just make sure that all the layers get that sauce on it. Kind of use your fingers. I probably should have grabbed a bigger bowl. Perfect. And we're just gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes while we make the sauce. I'm gonna be making two completely different sauces for this cauliflower recipe, but both work with the base of cooking the cauliflower. The first sauce is an orange chicken type of sauce, but without the chicken. And the second sauce is your typical buffalo wing sauce. Totally different flavors, but pick the one that you like, and they're both really easy to throw together. While the cauliflower is marinated, I'm going to make the orange chickenless sauce, and then while the cauliflower is cooking, I'll go ahead and make the buffalo sauce. So first, for the orange sauce, we will need 1 tablespoon of just a sweet chili sauce. Next, we'll take 1 tablespoon of sugar. I'm just using raw sugar, but any sugar works. You could also use maple syrup if you prefer. And then 2 tablespoons of vegetarian oyster sauce. Vegetarian oyster sauce is made with mushrooms instead of oysters. If you're not vegan, you can use regular oyster sauce if that's all you can find. Sometimes it can be a little bit trickier to find the vegetarian version. Next is 1 teaspoon of hoisin sauce and 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. Then the most important part is the juice from 1 orange. I'm gonna use my lemon juicer and see how it goes. This could get interesting. You can also just use your hands. Not bad, actually. My friends in Arizona have an actual orange juicer, and it's like huge. They grow oranges in their backyard and make the most delicious, freshly squeezed orange juice. We'll finish this sauce off with a teaspoon of cornstarch. And then we'll mix everything together. Orange sauce is done. Let's get the breading ready for the cauliflower. Now, to get a really crispy outer coating, we're actually gonna use rice flour and chickpea flour. But I don't buy that at the store, so we're gonna make our own flour by putting this in my high-speed blender. Let's start with the chickpea flour. Make sure your blender is completely dry, then we'll add in our dried chickpeas and just turn it on. Perfect. We'll take a half a cup of this and put it into our batter bowl. I'll save the rest for making cookies. Next, we'll add our rice and do the same thing. I'm using white rice for this. Again, about a cup. Let's turn it into flour. Look at that beautiful flour. This one calls for 1/3 cup of rice flour. We're just gonna add a dash of salt and pepper as well. Next, we'll add 3/4 cup of very cold water. So make sure it's nice and cold. 3/4 cup. Quickly mix that, making sure there's no clumps. I want to start to preheat my air fryer or your oven. I'm going to do 400 degrees. And we just simply put our marinated cauliflower into that batter. Make sure everything's nice and coated, and then we'll put it on our air fryer rack. Now, you can definitely make this in your oven. It just takes longer, and I like that an air fryer speeds it up. You're gonna get dirty. Alternatively, if you don't want to get messy like this, you could have just soaked each individual piece, but I like to save time. Now let's put it on our air fryer. There's some extra batter, and make sure it's nice and coated. All right, let's put it in. It's nice and preheated. We're gonna start with 10 minutes and then go from there. Hey, let's stop talking about cauliflower real quick so I can draw your attention to this free 1-week meal guide I have listed below. It is so delicious. You can get a free full week of whole food plant-based recipes, so make sure to check it out. Click below. While that's cooking, let's make sauce number 2, which is our quick and easy buffalo sauce. I'm going to use my blender because, as you may know, buffalo sauce is made with butter, and we're not gonna put butter in it. Instead, we're gonna use cashews, so I need the blender to mix up the cashews. We'll start by adding a half a cup of Frank's Red Hot sauce to our blender. Next, we'll add 1/4 cup of cashews, or a little bit more. Then we'll add a teaspoon of sugar, just to tone down some of that spiciness. A teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of paprika. Then we're gonna add some water to mix it all together. We'll add 1/4 cup of water. All right. Now check this, and if it's too spicy for you, you're welcome to tone it down a little bit with some water, thin it a little bit more. I'm just gonna bring it down. You definitely need a high-speed blender, and I forgot to mention, if you don't have a high-speed blender, always soak those cashews or else they will never blend. Even in my high-speed blender, they're a little chunky, so I'm just gonna place it all down here. This is a beautiful color. This looks so good. I'm gonna pour this in a bowl. All right, I checked on the cauliflower, and it just needs probably about 5 more minutes. The middle pieces are just not quite as crispy as the end pieces, so I'm just gonna gonna toss it, flip it, so we can get everything crispy, not just the ends. And let's be honest, I probably crammed this little air fryer with a little too much cauliflower. It's already really yummy though. I've snagged a couple pieces and they taste good without any sauce. Our buffalo sauce is done. It looks delicious. And now we just need to do the final step to get our orange sauce ready to go. So I'm turning on my stove to water saute. I already put water in here. I'm gonna water saute some garlic and ginger. So it's 2 cloves garlic and then 2 teaspoons of ginger. Today I'm using freeze-dried ginger because my grocery store had no fresh ginger. So we're gonna make do with this. And it's also really helpful that I have a little bit more water than usual so that we can rehydrate some of that ginger. We'll let that cook for about a minute. Perfect. That water has mostly evaporated, so now it's time to add in our sauce. We're just gonna cook it just for a little bit, not too long. I'm gonna turn down the heat just until the sauce thickens. Perfect. I'm gonna turn off the heat now that it's bubbled. Now we just add in our cauliflower. All right, it's been in a total of 19 minutes, and look at that. That is perfect, perfect, perfect. In the oven, this would have taken about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, and so it definitely saves time, which is why I like the air fryer. All right, here's our moment of truth. I'm gonna take half of this and put it with the buffalo sauce, and the other half I'm gonna put straight into my pan. I'm not gonna use all of this sauce, but just enough to coat what I have. Yum, this looks so good. Okay, we'll set this one aside. I know which ones my kids will like the best. They don't like spicy food, so this one's gonna be the winner. But I love it, so therefore I had to make some buffalo wings. All right, now for the taste test. It's kind of amazing that something like this could turn into something as delicious as this or this. Let's try the orange chickenless cauliflower. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is gonna be my go-to cauliflower recipe of all time. This is so amazing. I love the flavor of this typical orange chicken dish, but you could do it with tofu, or it's delicious with cauliflower. Wow. Don't make both of these dishes on the same night. They do not mix well. They're both delicious, but totally different. Down with the buffalo. This is so good. Oh man. And I bet I could even crisp this up a little bit more by putting it back in the air fryer for a couple minutes. Wow. Cauliflower, you can do so many amazing things. Just requires a little bit of work. If you like this video on how to make cauliflower taste good, I know you'll absolutely love my other videos where I show you how to make tofu taste good or how to make chickpeas taste good. So make sure to check those out as well.
You like chicken? You like chicken? It's not chicken. Yeah, is it spicy?